Welcome back to Miss Ocasio Reads. I'm Miss Ocasio and I'm so excited to read with you today. Did you know that elephants are endangered? Endangered means there's not many of them left in the world, so they are special animals that should not be hunted. Today we'll read a story about a girl who uses magical elephants to teach us how to save them. But first, there are elephants in my apartment. Elephants in Harlem, written and illustrated by Dr. S.D. Brooks. My name is Rachel, and I live in Harlem, New York. I am so sad that I have no brothers or sisters to play with, and I often feel very lonely. One dark and rainy weekend, I was home with my mother and had nothing to do. "Rain, rain, go away. Come back another day," I yelled to the ceiling. "Mommy, I'm so bored. What can I do today?" I asked. "Well, you can read a book, play with your toys, or, even better, clean up your room," said Mom. "Ugh," I sighed. As I pretended to faint, there came a knock at the door. "Who is it?" my mommy asked. "Mailman, I have a package for you, Miss Rachel Daniels." "That's me," I said, and I raced to the door. My mommy signed for the package. There were many colorful stamps from all around the world on the box. "Oh, the package is from your Grandpa George. It came from Africa. Your grandfather still works as an explorer for an organization called the Protection of International Wildlife." "An explorer? Like in the cartoons?" I giggled. "Well, in a way, yes," she smiled. My mother explained, "When I was younger, Dad traveled the world. He shared the importance of saving each nation's indigenous animals, including here in the Americas. Some say that your grandpa was way ahead of his time." My mom laughed as she remembered the past. "Your grandfather was funny. Although most of the people Dad encountered spoke English, he would always end every presentation in that country's native language, reciting the same mantra. Animal conservation is a massive effort. As humans, we must all do our part. Now he is assisting countries in the development of their very own wildlife preservations." "What's a paraservation?" Preservation is protected land for animals to live on, maintained by the public. The community assures that all animals are safe from pollutants and people who want to hunt them like poachers. They provide native food and vegetation. Plus, there's a veterinary clinic and learning center on site. "Wow," I said. Mommy helped me open the box, and inside it was a shiny silver cage. And inside the cage were 2 half-dollar-sized toys elephants and a letter. "My dear Rachel, I love you so much, honey bunch. When I was in Africa, I stayed with a tribe who had been friends with elephants since the beginning of time. The elephants were so grateful for their love and kindness that each year they gave them 3 special tiny elephants. Here are 2 for you, buckaroo. Have fun and see you soon. Love, Grandpa." I love Grandpa George. As my mother read the letter, I opened the cage and gently placed the 2 small elephants in my hand. They felt and looked so real. Their skin was rough, wrinkly, and hairy. Their ears were thin and leathery. I thought I saw one blink at me with its long eyelashes, but these were the size of toys. "They can't be real," I whispered. When I was younger, I saw a real-life baby elephant during a school trip to a rather sad-looking zoo, but it didn't fit in my hand. "Cool toys," I said. "You have to call your grandfather and thank him," my mother said. "Yes, Mom." All day I played with my new toys, and I imagined we were in the jungles of Africa with my Grandpa George. I decorated the cage with leaves from my mom's potted plants. Then I placed dirt on the floor of the cage with a teacup full of water. When it was time for bed, I placed the cage on my bedroom nightstand and went to sleep. That night, I had a dream that the elephants came to life. They started eating the plants and drinking the water. When I awoke the next morning, the elephants appeared to be sleeping. Even stranger, some of the water and leaves were missing. There were elephant footprints in the dirt. "Rachel, breakfast!" my mother yelled from the kitchen. Just then, both elephants opened their eyes. I shrieked in shock, and my mom quickly ran to my rescue. "What happened?" she asked. "Look, they're alive," I said in complete shock. My mom took a double take, then cried out in surprise, "Wait, there are elephants in my apartment!" Surprise soon turned to anger. Real, live, pooping, eating, growing elephants. Not just one, but two. Are you kidding me? "Wow, unbelievable, Dad," my mom whispered. "How are we going to take care of elephants in Harlem, Mommy?" "Come, let's look on the internet and find out what to feed them," she said. We learned that elephants are herbivores, which means they only eat fruits and vegetables. While we couldn't find African acacia, sausage, or baobab trees in Harlem, we were able to find cabbage, lettuce, apples, and watermelon. Elephants love to walk for long distances, so we let them roam free. The apartment is always kept at a nice and toasty temperature. Also, we learned that we had a girl and a boy elephant. I named them Lil Rachel and Lil George after my grandfather. The next day is show and tell. Usually my show and tell is a picture I drew on the bus. But this time I have the coolest show and tell ever. My mini mighty elephants, Lil George and Lil Rachel. That Monday, I placed a soft blanket in an old basket of mine and walked to school. Everyone was so amazed to see my teeny tiny elephants. I shared with the class how my grandfather, the explorer, gave me 2 mini African elephants to keep me company. I told them how my Grandpa George worked for the protection of international wildlife. There, he helped build awareness to endangered species, such as lions, tigers, elephants, and even whales. The class was in awe and had so many questions. Lil Rachel and Lil George are nice, smart, and playful. After school, we play their favorite games. They love to play basketball and hide and go seek. Every night we cuddle together as my mom reads us a bedtime story as we fall asleep. Although they are my best friends, they are also a big responsibility. 3 times a day, I have to feed them and clean their potty area where they do number 1 and 2. Their poop is called dung, and they dung a whole lot, I said, and all in the class laughed. Next, we played peekaboo in front of the class. Since the elephants don't bite, my teacher allowed them to be passed around the classroom. My classmates each had a chance to feed, touch, and play with the elephants. Everyone was laughing and having a great time, including the elephants. I continued to share funny stories with the class about my awesome adventures with my new friends. The day was the best day ever. I was about to walk home when I remembered my mother. She said she would pick us up in front of the school. Immediately, I saw my mom and gave her a big hug. Mrs. Daniels, great, what a pleasant surprise. It was my teacher, Miss Allie, yelling and smiling and waving frantically to us. So we did the same thing back. We yelled, smiled, and waved frantically while my mom called out Miss Allie's name. Thank you for allowing Rachel to show and tell her most unique friends today. I spoke briefly with the principal about the tiny elephants. We would love for you to host an informative and fun presentation to the whole school about the endangered African elephants. Please. Of course, I would love to. Every generation must understand the importance of taking care of our natural wildlife and habitats, my mom answered ecstatically. Later that week, the school held a special assembly. My mom, the elephants, and I arrived at the school together. Dad took a cab from work and was right behind us. My mom showed pictures of endangered and vulnerable animals from all around the world. This is largely due to climate changes, loss of natural habitat, pollution, and poachers. Elephants are endangered because they are being hunted for their tusks. Tusks are the two long incisor teeth found on both sides of an elephant's mouth. Another name for tusks is ivory. Long ago, ivory was used for fake teeth and piano keys. Today, its greatest use is in jewelry and artwork, my mom explained to the assembly. Next, every student received a card with a picture of Lil Rachel and Lil George on the front. Inside the card was information about how to adopt an African elephant. The next day, the school was all abuzz with excitement. Everyone was chatting about the elephant assembly. I became a mini celebrity. Our principal decided the entire school would adopt one elephant for the entire year. We raised money by having art, jewelry, and bake sales throughout our school and community. In social studies, we learned that there are two main types of elephants, the Asian and the African elephants. We learned about the species of elephants in science class. In art class, we made pictures, hats, and masks of elephants. Every grade wrote letters to the protection of international wildlife, thanking them for saving the elephants of the world. It was elephant mania all over again. By the end of the school year, my school raised enough money to adopt 2 elephants in Africa and 2 in Asia. My grandfather was asked to visit and accept the check from the school to the protection of international wildlife. Grandpa spoke about his job as an explorer. At the end of his speech, he asked how many students would be interested in a career rescuing and raising awareness about endangered animals. Most of the school raised their hands, including me. My grandfather started to cry. I thought he was sad, so I ran up on stage to give him a hug. My beautiful granddaughter, these are tears of joy. I am so proud of you. Do you see how one person can make a big difference in the world? Even a little girl from Harlem, Grandpa? Especially a little girl from Harlem, Rachel. And just like that, a little girl from Harlem and her tiny elephants became future wildlife conservationists of the world. Thank you so much, Miss Ocasio. I love the way you add your own magic touch to each book you read and make each book come to life. You are amazing. Keep up the fantastic work of making reading fun. Dr. S.D. Brooks. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's story, and remember, lots of people enjoy hunting, but great hunters never hunt endangered species. How will you help to save the elephants? See you next time. Thanks for joining me today for Miss Ocasio Reads. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Share this video with your teachers and friends. Subscribe to read more stories with me. Connect with me on social media with the grown-ups' help to suggest the next story. And visit Miss Ocasio Meets to get to know your favorite authors. Thanks for watching.